Well, it is party time, I guess. It's Monday, and we're here in the studio. I'm excited to be back. I'm sure you could tell I'm still on vacation mode right here. I don't have shoes on or anything else, for those of you who can't see. The lovely Sara Gonzales is dressed in white like she's a bride-to-be. And, of course, Steve Helms. Is that not what I'm here for? Steve Helms, the Texas legend.
I'm dressed this way just because I'm poor, not because of vacation.
I have clothes. I was not in Cozumel. I was in where was I? Not in Cancun. I was in Cabo. I was in Cabo. I was somewhere south of the border. I was in Cabo for 5 days. So I'm kind of still on a whole other equatorial zone.
Yeah, I gotta say, you didn't sound very enthusiastic when you started the show.
Well. I don't know.
It almost sounds like you're not happy to be back.
I'm excited to be back. I've been through a lot. Just in the last week, I feel completely disconnected. I feel recharged in a way, but I'm still kind of chill, right?
That's
Chris is not in the room, so Chris is not trying to get my blood pressure off and see if I can get pissed off. The Puppet Master Mark and, of course, Let's Love Brandon are at the helm driving us into the regions of all things insanity. And speaking of helping me keep my sanity, Sara, you do a good job of helping me with that, and I greatly appreciate
I try.
That.
I try.
It's been easy to get a little bit off the rails for me. I went down. We stayed at Casa Dorado, had a blast down there.
It looked beautiful.
It's a gorgeous resort, and I like it because, you can go out there and you can kind of get away from everything and get secluded. I don't like that. I like to be where there's some action. I can hear there's people around, right? So it's a nice place, great restaurants nearby. You can walk to the marina, all this stuff. Those of you know Cabo. Scott Pollock, who used to be the Reverend of Las Vegas, is now the Reverend of Cabo. He's my buddy from Vegas. He had a wedding chapel over there that was adjacent to the Pawn Stars deal, if anybody that's ever watched Pawn Stars. So he decided, he and his wife, they went down and he became the Reverend of Cabo. He does weddings. And so we had dinner with them on Tuesday night. Great catching up with them. But I was like, dude, you just moved down here? You just moved to Mexico? You just came down here? He's like, yeah, we love it. It's great. I said, okay. All right. File that in the back of my head.
Yeah, no kidding.
Of course, Steve, you've talked about moving to Mexico forever.
Probably within the next couple of years, I'm going to be a Cozumelian.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean,
yeah, seriously.
I would think you'd want to get somewhere that you could escape extradition, because you're a wanted man, so you're definitely on the run.
7 years? Is that the thing? Yeah,
something like that.
We're almost to the 7-year thing. Yeah.
But over the years, we've kind of looked at property in Mexico. Of course, I posted pictures of being there, and people were like, "Oh, look at this xenophobic bigot down there. He wants to build a wall, but he vacations in Mexico." Once you go woke, you can't joke. That's for sure. All right,
Yeah,
these
no
folks,
kidding.
these guys, these progressive wild-eyes, the Riris. I mean, you can't post anything that's just real life or tongue-in-cheek or sarcastic. They lose their freaking minds. They take everything so damn serious. Everything's got to be so freaking literal. And they have absolutely no understanding of what they're even saying when they do stuff like that. We are a nation that has a border.
Right.
I'm not opposed to people crossing that border legally.
Right.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Which is what all of the other countries
Mexico has a border. You have to cross it legally.
And when I went into Mexico, believe it or not, I had to fill out a form.
Yes.
And declare what I was bringing with me, who I was. I had to submit that. It had to get stamped. I had to get they got to approve all of that.
It's weird how that works, isn't it?
It's funny.
They aren't just
going
to give you a little citation and send you on your way if they find you in their country illegally.
So my buddy Scott, to this point, Reverend of Cabo, look him up on Instagram. Me and Instagram are on the outs. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Reverend of Cabo, I asked him, I said, so did you bring a car down here? He said, no, we haven't brought an automobile. He said, because what's the point? He said, I might as well Uber everywhere. He's all tatted up, he's got all this stuff. And he goes, if I go out driving my own vehicle in Mexico, he said, I'm an immediate target for law enforcement. They're going to pull me over for bribes. He goes, the tattoos are going to give it away. They're going to target me. He said, so I might as well just Uber everywhere I go. And I'm like, you mean to tell me that you, a white man in Mexico, are being harassed, but the nature of the laws that they try to enforce here. Yeah.
Driving while white.
So, anyway, I'm reasonably tan. Once again, the studio lights, you can't tell these legs.
Don't lift your feet up.
Why?
Chad.
Are they dirty?
He sat in the makeup room for 45 minutes getting those legs done a while ago. I saw it.
Well, Elizabeth likes to spray me down. Anyway, if you have been watching, like looking at social media, let's get caught up on social media, because I don't have a clue what happened in the world last week.
Good for you.
Is it right? I really don't.
Yeah.
I tried to pull a Dave Rubin and just completely detach from things. I didn't look at the news. I tried not to check my email maybe once a day and just detach.
When you run a business, you gotta check it
every now and then. It's good if you're on vacation to just keep up with what is paying for that vacation.
Right.
So it's difficult to completely disconnect, especially when social media is in a large way your business. So Instagram has me completely and totally shadow banned. And a lot of people keep saying, are you still on Instagram? I am, at Watch Chad. Now, if you're going to find that, you're going to have to type in at Watch Chad, all the letters. And then it's going to ask you, are you sure you want to follow this person?
People think you're joking about that, but that's serious.
It's true.
Absolutely
That's true. It will pop that message up.
It did it for me when I tried to tag you.
Now, I've got 260,000 followers on Instagram. If I make a post, maybe 100 reactions. Those are like the diehards that follow the stuff that I'm doing. But most of the people, not most of the people, everybody, if you tag me and say one of your stories and go to share it to your deal, it will send you the warning. Are you sure that you want to tag this person? Because he has shared misinformation. Now, if you go to settings on your Instagram and you come down to help, there's a page that says violations. You can go to that violations and it will show you a list of all the violations you've ever committed on Instagram. Sometimes it's a fact check that you have to go in and you got to send a letter or send an email to the person who wrote the fact check and say, okay, I'm sorry, I'll delete the post, And I don't like doing that, but occasionally, in order to keep your thing healthy, you have to say, okay, we'll take this down.
Yeah.
So, a couple of months ago, I posted a picture of a black lady. I can't remember her name. She is a historical figure holding a gun. And I said, would Harriet Tubman have passed a background check in 1865? Okay, some meme like that. They fact checked it, misinformation. That's not a picture of Harriet Tubman. Whoopie effing do. The point was still made.
Right.
No, a black lady in 1865 would not have passed a background check. The point of the meme is to say that the federal government does not have your best interests, and they will find ways to make sure that you do not pass their stamp of approval when it comes to your rights. So as far as I know, now if you go to the violations page, that's not there. It's not there. I got the warning, but it's not in the violations page. So I sent a letter to Instagram, and I said, I need to know what the violation is. They said, well, you need to send us a screenshot of the violation. I said, it doesn't exist. There's nothing there. If you go to my deal, look in the account, it's not there. Well, we're going to have to see a screenshot. Well, can't do it. So now I'm over a barrel going, okay, do I just say, I enjoy Instagram. It's a great way of communicating certain things that I don't think Facebook and other places like that do as well. So do I start a new page? Do I just wait it out? What am I on, a 90-day deal? Because they haven't told me.
Could you send them a screenshot of a
The
blank
fact that it's
violation?
not there.
Right.
Yeah.
I did that.
Oh.
I did that, and they said, we're going to need a picture of the violation. I said, this is a clown show at this point.
Seriously, trained monkeys would do better.
This is a clown show. And first of all, I don't think we're dealing with people in the United States that speak English as a first language. Because again, I can tell the grammar that comes back to me from Meta, which that's who it is, because they own Facebook, they own Instagram. And when the apocalypse goes down, I am going to eat Mark Zuckerberg first. I mean, he's skinny, sinewy, he's very bony, will not fill me up, but I'm eating that dude first.
It's not going to taste good.
I'm eating that dude first.
There's going to be a lot of demonic energy
when
in
the stuff
meat.
goes down, that's where I'm getting my adrenochrome, okay, from MZ. Like at this point, they got us over a barrel. If people understood the level of stress that I and you and Steve too, I mean, we all who make our living out there as independent hustlers, okay? Yeah. We use our voice, use our platform, we play music, we do comedy, we do this podcasting. If they understood how much of what we do depends on these charlatans like the Mark Zuckerbergs, the Facebook, the Twitter, all these different things. And I know what people are going to say. They're going to say, get over on Getter. Get over on Parler. Get over on Truth. It doesn't have the same reach. No. And I am on those. Yeah. And well, I mean, am I going to go over there? Do you know how much time that takes to put it on all these platforms and for 3 reactions from somebody? I mean, I worked really hard to build a platform on all these little deals. And now, yes, I'm bitching and whining because this is being done to me. Yeah. So I'm playing the victim a little bit. So I say all that to say, I would love to see an experiment that everybody would just go to Instagram and type out @WatchChad. And if you're not following me, follow me. But just everybody all at once, just go, boom, find my most recent post, whatever it is. I think it's a picture of Elvis walking like Sasquatch in the woods.
And like it.
And just like it. And just put something on there. And let's just see if it'd be like, oh, we forgot this guy was even on the planet.
Wait, you got a picture of Elvis in the woods?
Yes. He's not pooping.
It is.
I mean, it's you know, he's walking like a Sasquatch, like he captured my game trail camera. I caught Elvis. So I'm just saying, like it bugs me that these guys have that much power.
Well, I mean, and I don't think that you're playing the victim.
Oh, no, I'm playing the victim.
Well, but my point is, I think that your concern is very real, and you have monetary consequences as a result of that, right? I mean, you run a business where you need to show people what you're doing, and if people are not seeing it, it hits you in the pocketbook. I think that's a valid reason to bitch.
Well, and I love the people who say, you just need to get off of here altogether. Well, do you not understand? This is what I do.
Right.
Like,
right.
I can't.
How would you make money?
Like, I can't do that. And also, I am contractually bound with the Blaze to make sure that content is put on social media. We can't just, that's our business. Right. It's what we do.
Right.
So it is a tough situation. I mean, I go out there. I don't have the, quote, guaranteed paychecks. I have to go get it. I mean, we're doing 2 shows in Lubbock Friday night. If nobody shows up to those shows, guess what? You don't get paid.
Right.
You went up there, you paid for the hotels, the gas to get there, and you put on the show. The venue loses, we lose. Well, people are like, but then next week, I'll make a post about going to Concan, Texas, which I think we're at next week. Somebody say, man, I wish you'd come to Lubbock. Well, we were just there Friday night, but you don't know that.
Right.
So it's gotten harder and harder. I mean, it just is harder and harder. I would love to live in a world where I could post pictures of my food. But shit, I was in Cabo and I posted a picture of me and CJ standing there together. The thing gets 32,000 reactions on one page, 14,000 reactions on another. All I said was I'm on the coast of somewhere beautiful with someone beautiful. Yeah. I didn't say I'm stooping somebody. I didn't say I'm getting married. I'm not there. I'm not with the Reverend of Cabo to perform a matrimonial service. I'm just standing on the beach with another human being, and you would think that I was re-crucifying the Lord. Yeah. Some of these people.
Yeah,
I mean, weird. And I'm like, you know what? You keep doing this social media thing. It's like, why?
I know.
Why do we do it? Everybody knows your business, Sarah. You do not know your own life.
Yeah, they all know exactly what happens in your personal life, all of the comings and goings of people, and exactly how it played out, don't they? They are all the experts in your life.
I could see the misery and pain in your ex-wife's eyes when you were doing comedy and shit. That was a literal quote.
Hey, I told you I would take that down.
I genuinely had to, whatever the social media version is of bite my tongue. Like, I had to really refrain from responding to some of those and being like, I have a lot I could say here, and I just won't because I'm not going to get involved.
Again, if you watch this show, I've explained my life on this show. I've lived out loud, even on social media. But I didn't. My divorce, I didn't run it through the ringer and make sure everybody knew every vivid detail.
It was
it's not their business. And people say he doesn't talk about his kids anymore. Okay, so for the last 10 years, I haven't talked about my kids at all.
Maybe that's what they prefer. You guys don't know.
Right. My kids don't want to be talked about.
That's what I'm saying.
And some people say, he's talked about his kids. I don't. I really don't. Like, there's one picture in the last 10 years, basically, that's been posted of my kids, and that was here recently.
My response is, why does somebody in Omaha give a shit about your kids? What does that have to do with them?
And what's funny is, like, I'm like, they keep saying, well, we want to know about your ex, and they call her by name. And I was like, you people, all you ever cared about in the last 3 years is where the dog was. Like, where's Willie?
Where's Willie?
Nobody said, where's Jade? No, nobody ever did any of that. And I don't even want to say her name because it's not my place to even bring her name into it. But I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like, y'all don't care.
No.
Don't even act like you care. Don't even act like you're pissed off.
They just want to create drama.
Oh, he was in an adulterous relationship when he was running for office. I was like, I was single when I was running for office, for crying out loud. Yeah. People, I'm going to unfollow while you go through your midlife crisis. I'm like, you weren't keeping up anyway.
No, you guys, there's a lot. Shockingly, we all have personal lives, and there's a lot you guys don't know because you shouldn't. Because we're all real people.
None of your effing business.
None of your business.
And I know people who watch and listen to this show, y'all know. So I'm preaching to the choir in this regard. But the general rule of thumb is social media is a nightmare.
Can I say one more thing on that that's a little related, but not? have a big problem with a lot of people, Blaze fans included, I'm just going to say, who anytime we have to censor something off of YouTube, they get so angry. Like we had a vaccine special that we had to do behind the paywall because of the content that was in it. And they were so mad at us. And they're like, you're just trying to get subscriptions. Well, first of all, maybe that is management's decision. I don't know. But like, you do realize this isn't free, right? Like we can't. Like it costs money to do these productions. So on one hand, we do actually need to get some sort of money to keep the company running. But also, like, is it better to just be completely banned from YouTube? Yeah. And then you give them zero content rather than content that we can give them.
Yeah, exactly.
They're just never satisfied.
People just really are.
We're doing our best here to get you guys content.
And I like to believe that most people out there have that common sense.
I think so.
It's the small majority that are very vocal. And again, that's the world we're living in these days. The crazy subcategory of the statistical non-entity out there that's the Riri that's always bitching about something.
Right.
We can talk more about this. I want to get into your victimization. When we come back. Speaking of making money, and we ran long in this thing. Sorry, Mark. Court packing, folks, is a real danger to our democracy. The court packing that they're pushing right now, it's a coup. It is. It's a takeover. And the folks like Biden, Pelosi, Schumer, they're working overtime on new radical plans to pack the Supreme Court. If we don't stop them from installing, say, like 4 more justices, they can rig the system in their favor, and that's going to be very catastrophic for our court, our country, our way of life. So we don't need to let that happen. I want you to join us. We're gathering a coalition of 1 million patriots to say no to court packing, no to the liberal agenda, no to the Supreme Court coup. You got folks like Franklin Graham, Ed Meese, James Dobson, Family Policy Alliance, the Heritage Foundation. We've got 400,000 people already just like you on board, but he needs you to sign your name now. So go to supremecoup.com and sign First Liberty's letter. That's supremecoup.com. C-O-U-P is how you spell coup. I know you know this. Supremecoup.com, and we'll be right back. All right, so we are going to be in Lubbock at the Cactus Theater, 2 shows, 7 o'clock and 9:30, I think. Sounds about right? 7 and 9?
I'm not starting until 9:31.
There you go. So watchchad.com it's all the fun stuff over there. And then Concan, Texas, we're going to be doing a show down there at House Pasture, which is a fun dance hall down there.
Never been there, buddy. I'm excited.
It's fun. It's down there towards Uvalde, and so it's a cool spot. But we're bouncing around. We're doing a lot of different things, so check out watchchad.com. And we'll see if they censor this hat.
I thought about wearing my hat and was like,
People get upset about the 1776 bitches brand. Yeah. It's a little provocative.
Sometimes you just got to go there.
It's a little provocative.
And you know what they could do if they're upset about it? Not buy one.
Don't buy one. That's the whole deal.
I feel like there was probably some bitches in 1776.
I mean,
more than we give credit for, I'm sure.
So.
Because of the patriarchy. I want to talk about you, Sarah, because I don't know how much you can say, but you got a court date tomorrow.
I do.
Because you've been victimized.
I am being summoned by the city of Dallas in regards to the assault case, the Beto staffer, whenever that whole thing went down. And she tried to grab my phone from me and grabbed my hand in the process and tried to pull my phone and my hand. And it was a whole big thing. And so the city of Dallas has summoned me to go testify in that case because she's pleading not guilty and doesn't want to pay the fine. And
the People versus O'Rourke.
Yeah, something. Yeah. So this one is different than so we've got the federal lawsuit that we filed in federal court, and this one is her court date for her assault, which I find very interesting. I guess she's just rolling the dice, hoping that she gets a lenient judge because we have video, like it's all on video. We have video evidence. There's really no disputing that she did it. So it'll be interesting to see. Yeah. I'm not looking forward to sitting around all day watching how the city of Dallas manages their judicial system. Something tells me it's going to be a complete cluster.
Just all of that stresses me out.
Yeah, me too.
Going to court stresses me out.
Me
for
too.
Numerous reasons, but just the whole process of the whole thing. So
yeah.
We'll be watching.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to find out. I think she chose, and this is publicly available information, so I don't think I'm disclosing anything I can't disclose. That it said that she disclosed. It said that she chose trial by jury, which I found to be fascinating. So,
and this is the cop.
No, this is the staffer.
The staffer.
This is the staffer.
I meant the staffer.
The cop is the cop is currently under investigation by the city of Dallas for criminally and internal affairs, and then is a part of the federal lawsuit.
You know, I know that like me personally, I think at some point you got to hold people accountable. That's
why we're doing this, Chad. It's like, could I have just walked away because I don't have any visible marks? I didn't fall down the stairs and break my ankle. They didn't actually break my phone. Sure, I could have just said, okay, well, you know what? That sucked. But you can't treat people this way, especially if you're running for, I mean, think about this. This man wants to be governor of Texas, and his campaign staff is using Dallas police as like their mafia muscle.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's a really big deal. And if we don't shine a light on this kind of treatment, it's going to continue happening, because I thought to myself, imagine what this cop has done to other people who are just on the street, who have no idea what their rights are and maybe don't have the resources to be able to pursue something. Mm-hmm. They can't hold this cop accountable. If I can, I should. And that's why we're doing it.
Steve's turned on right now because he likes to get handcuffed and slapped around.
That's basically why we have this barrier in between us right now.
Yeah, I said, don't let him touch me.
Keep me on my side.
Y'all are violating a weird restraining order or something.
I'll give you her name. I'm sure she'll give you a good
Slap
time.
You around.
Yeah.
Ooh, I want to volunteer for the old Rourke campaign. They treat a boy rough around there. Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see how this thing plays out. Yeah. And when are we gonna, when are we gonna stop allowing the crazies to determine the debate rules or what the fight looks like? Mm-hmm. We keep letting the left define. I mean, good God, they're redefining everything right now.
Language means nothing.
Language means nothing. They're changing the rules. It's like when you were a little kid and you're playing Uno with your big brother, and he just keeps changing the rules, and you're standing there with 60 cards in your hand, because he keeps telling you, and you're like, that's not the rules, but you go along with it. Because, at least he's playing the game with you. Mm-hmm. So I think we got to hold all of these folks accountable with stuff like this. So it's going to be interesting to see how this deal turns out.
Since then, they don't allow me into their events. I show up and I'm like,
oh, yeah.
I'm just there.
You're on a watch list.
Yes.
Yeah, in their defense, though, they're not the only people that don't let you into places.
Well, we won't get into that.
LeBear, the male strip club over here.
He told me he wanted it, okay?
Yeah. So
no means no, Sarah.
So let's talk a little controversy with the Blaze.
Oh boy,
Steve Deace.
What did I watch?
Called him out on Twitter. We had a staff writer that wrote an article about a trans woman who's a man. That's a man.
A dude, right?
That's a guy who was 25 years old. He was on a cheerleading squad. God. And
I already have many questions.
Choked one of the teammates who was a biological female. Mm-hmm. And
because
he got kicked off the team because she said he was a woman with a penis.
She said he's a man with a penis.
A man with a penis. Mm-hmm. That's it. And so choked her out. Now the guy said that it was done as a joke. I think it was kind of done in jest. Didn't mean it.
I always choke people out joking. I'm like,
well, do you?
Oh yeah.
Do you?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
It's a thing. It's weird because it's never received quite like I mean it whenever I choke them.
That lack of oxygen goes right to the brain.
I guess.
I will slap you with this pillow, Gonzales.
So Steve Deace, of course, said, why are we using their preferred pronouns in this article? Mm-hmm. And look, he did a fair point of calling out our own, right? Our folks right here in-house who did it. And if you read that article, it continually refers to the man as she, right? Yeah. So we can't do that. We can't do that. Look, there's certain things that we are independent as we can be as broadcasters on the Blaze. They're gracious enough to give us a platform. We technically, I think, own our shows. I mean, it's sort of. I mean, it just kind of depends on how you came in. Like, I think I technically own my RSS feed that is my podcast platform. I let the Blaze utilize that.
Well, we'll see what happens whenever.
Yeah, right. We'll see how that goes. I brought it in with me. But I don't worry about stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm under the Blaze umbrella. I'm proud to be here. I'm thankful for this family that we have here. But I do want us to be careful with this, right? Because we're so. When you read the article, did you even notice that the pronouns were being used like that?
I'm glad you brought that up because I retweeted the tweeting out the article, and I said based female teammate, and it actually kind of made me really sad when I went back and read Steve's tweet. I was like, holy crap, I'm so used to people using preferred pronouns.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize when I read the tweet that it was even doing that.
Yeah.
And I was trying to decide, is that because it's just used so often that I just don't even think about it? Or is it because it just gets to be confusing and I just need a flow chart? I don't know. But I was like, well, crap, I didn't even notice this.
Yeah.
So that was sad to me.
Well, I go back to the old illustration I use all the time about how today's spot is tomorrow's rot. If you got a spot on the fruit today, tomorrow it becomes. We let these little things happen, and we just let them go. We let them go, and then all of a sudden it becomes normal. Normal language, normal behavior. We start saying these things, and it's, if you really think about it, it has repercussions and consequences when you carry it out to its logical conclusion. This is one of those situations. So, I want us to do better. I think we're all guilty of that in regards to that. You can have a slip of the lip that gets you hung by the tongue. That's one thing where you mess up and say the wrong thing. But when you are specifically pandering, and that's what it is, because it's saying, oh, well, we're going to go along with what society has determined.
Right.
So under Steve Deace's tweet, I put on there, I said, a dude choked a girl. There, I fixed it. And of course, look, I'm on Twitter. I'm pissing everybody off on Twitter anyway. I said monkeypox was an STD. What's going to suck, Mark, is when I get monkeypox. Like, after all the stuff that I've made fun of with the monkeypox, and all of a sudden I'm going to come up with monkeypox because I slept in a dirty hotel room.
Yeah, we're going to have some questions.
People are going to go,
monkeypox.
Oh,
yeah.
We always knew there was something going on with the cowboy hat.
We are going to have some questions.
Sarah and I will not be shocked. I'm just going to go there. We will not be surprised.
I've been out in the sun and all this stuff, and I've been staying in hotels in the last week, and I looked and I was like, I had a little rash on my elbow. I was like, do I have the monkeypox? I started Googling what are the symptoms of monkeypox.
Did you really?
Yeah. Not because I thought I had
Sarah,
monkeypox,
he really did.
But I was like, and then I started going, well, what are the symptoms of?
Yeah.
I don't have any fatigue or any fever.
Aren't they like, don't they ooze?
Yeah, they're pussy.
Okay, so as long as you don't get the oozing. Again,
as long as you're. I'm not going to say that joke. It was something connected to pussy. If you're with one pussy, you don't have to worry about the pussy.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. I can't help it.
I love it. He says I'm not good.
Two shows in Lubbock, everybody. Two shows in Lubbock,
folks. We'll take it there. Steve and I were in Bozeman, Montana a couple years ago doing a show, and it was hot. Like, normally Bozeman, Montana, they don't have air conditionings on the building, and we were staying in this place that didn't have air conditioning, and that's another story that we'll get into another time of what happened that night. But they said, you got to sleep with your windows open or your doors open. And we didn't want to because there's bears and there's bobcats and stuff like that.
Cougars.
There's cougars.
Yeah.
And
not the good kind.
Not the two-legged kind. Yeah. It was hot up there. And I bring that story up now because I want to talk to you guys about Cozy Earth. They are a new sponsor of ours.
They're so good.
And you guys have to know about Cozy Earth because a lot of times, it's hot. It's 137 degrees in Texas, and you when you're hot like that, like we were in Bozeman, you just say goodbye to a good night's sleep. Cozy Earth's going to help you. It's bedding. It's incredibly soft, incredibly luxurious, and it's temperature regulating. And I don't know about you, but I'm a hot sleeper. I got the menopause. I get the night sweats. I do. I wake up soaking wet sometimes. It's like, good God, what's going on with me? I do.
He's oozing.
I'm oozing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm
pustules.
hot. And I wake up and I'm sweaty and I got to go get a towel and all this kind of stuff.
Doesn't happen with Cozy Earth.
It doesn't. I am sleeping better than ever. And it's Cozy Earth. They got thousands of 5-star reviews at CozyEarth.com. Incredible bedding. And in fact, here's one from someone named Lauren. Love how surprisingly soft these bamboo sheets are. Incredibly lightweight, well-designed, and worth every penny for the comfortable sleep I'm getting these days. Can't agree more. Cozy Earth sheets made from 100% viscose from bamboo, which means they're breathable, moisture wicking, so you'll sleep degrees cooler, many more than cotton, and you don't have to worry about the hot flashes. Cozy Earth even offers a 100-night sleep trial. You can sleep 100 nights on it. Wash it, try it out. If you're not completely in love, send it back for a full refund. Cozy Earth sheets. They're available in 4 natural colors. For a limited time, save 35% on Cozy Earth bamboo bedding. Go to cozyearth.com/Chad. And they'll save you 35% right now, all backed by the 100-night sleep guarantee. That's cozyearth.com/Chad. Get 35% off, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. It's that time of the show where I attempt to wax eloquent. I've been gone for a week. I don't know if I still can. Let's get caught up. I don't know if you've heard or not, but Germany is in trouble, folks. Right now, their biggest cities are shutting off warm water, putting temperature limits on heating for buildings, and even shutting off lights in a lot of places. And why are they doing that? Because, of course, Germany depends immensely on Russian oil. And for some reason, the Ruskies aren't acting all that dependable these days. Shocker. Listen to what Belit One, the mayor of Hanover and a member of the Green Party over there, had to say about it. Said, quote, "The situation is unpredictable. Every kilowatt hour counts, and protecting critical infrastructure has to be a priority. We are facing hard times due to the Russian aggression on Ukraine. And as we see that there's a looming gas shortage, that is a major challenge for municipalities. I think everyone, not only the municipalities, the federal government also, and also every single person in Germany, is needed for this. Everyone has to save as much energy as possible so we can get through the winter. Otherwise, in December or January, we will have much bigger problems than lighting or the showers," end quote. Now, he undoubtedly said that in German, so it probably took 3 minutes to say and sounded like someone throwing a handful of forks against a wall, but I think you get the idea. Guys, this is what happens to a country that isn't energy independent. I hate to keep banging the drum on this, mainly because I hate that I have to. But there was a time in this country, not all that long ago, that we didn't have a Putinhead in the White House, and we were energy independent. And, you know, if we tapped all our oil fields dry during that time, and now we had to go hat in hand to Saudi Arabia and beg for some oil, I'd understand that. But we didn't. We didn't. That's not what happened. There's more oil under the ground in the United States than there is crack on Hunter Biden's credit card statements. It's waiting there to be used. It isn't going anywhere. Yet here we are, not using it. We're not using it. Back to Germany now. From October 1st of this year until March 31st of next year, Hanover's municipal buildings are not going to be allowed to be heated over 68 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's great, because there's nothing I love better than being stuck at the DMV for 4 hours, getting to talk to the nicest person in the world's, demonic evil twin, and be sporting rock hard nipples from the cold at the same time. Folks, they're to the point where they're shutting off warm water. And it isn't just Hanover. We're talking about all the big cities in Germany, Nuremberg, Munich, and some cities I can't even pronounce. And this is Germany, folks. This isn't some backwater third world country that just got electricity turned on the first time last week. This is a first world modern Western nation. They're not us, I get it, but they're a lot like us. And more importantly, we're a lot like them. So we'd better be paying attention to what's happening over there. And please, for the love of God, let's get these incompetent morons who are running our country into the ground out of office, please, please. Republicans have a fondness and an affinity for screwing the pooch when it comes to elections that should be in the bag. Let's not let that happen this time. November's coming, folks. It's time to get Democrats out of office as much as we can. And hey, I know 2024 seems like it's forever away, but it's not. You got to hold on to hope, and we'll all survive, long enough to get that old Puddinhead sent merrily on his way to the nursing home he so richly deserves.
Does he ever?
See what happens. Look, it's coming here. We're already seeing. I mean, look, in the power grid here in Texas, I'm getting those emails all the time about do not lower your thermostat below, 78 or something like that. Steve Helms would die.
I would. I would. I don't care if you have to charge up your electric car. I'm running my air conditioner.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you ever follow those guidelines?
Never.
I would never.
No. Steve Helms comes in my house and goes right to the thermostat and lowers it down to like 58, 54,
Steve,
as low as it'll go. It's brutal.
You're going to freeze out the unit.
He is literally personally responsible for the power grid strain in Texas. Steve Helms, everybody. So you saw again, you can't talk about Volodymyr Zelenskyy. You can't talk about him, but they had the Vogue magazine. I saw. I was on Twitter while I was gone because, again,
you have to be to a certain extent.
The snark has to come out somewhere.
Yeah.
But of course, they posed for Vogue magazine. Now, understand that when Vogue magazine comes to take a picture of a leader of a country, they don't just come in with iPhones and snap a few shots. There's a process here. There's hair and makeup. There's wardrobe. And his wife changed wardrobes a couple of times for this thing. So they come in. They got to set up the lights. They got to set up the blocking. They got to set up the, all of the kind of, it's a production. It's a production. What was your takeaway on this, Sarah?
Quite a production for such a war-torn and war-stricken place.
Yeah.
It's fascinating to me. Things are so bad there. We've sent them how many billions of dollars now, yet Nancy Pelosi's making trips. Who was it? U2 is playing concerts. All of these things don't seem like they would be happening if things were as crazy and bad as they say it is. And I want to be clear here. I'm not saying that it's not happening, and I'm not saying that there are people who are not dying.
Again, and it's
I understand
you
that's
always got to throw the disclaimer in there because you got the Riris out there who are going to say, "What these civilians are." Look, that's horrible.
Do you think that Nancy Pelosi would put herself at risk by going there?
Right.
If there were any chance that she could get caught up in something?
No.
The answer is obviously no.
No.
So.
Well, we know that because she said she's not going to Taiwan now that China said they were going to shoot her out of the sky if she did it. So she's like, I think we'll skip that Asian country.
It's like something tells me it's not as dramatic as they're portraying it to be, and maybe we should stop sending them billions and billions of dollars.
Right.
If it's okay enough to have the Vogue photographers come in and take fancy, sexy, dramatic pictures, maybe just let me keep my money.
I mean, Zelensky's hanging out with Ben Stiller for a day.
Right.
That's really going to help geopolitics.
It's very important to the war.
It's so, you go in there, and this is my take on this whole deal. And everybody says, "Oh, you're just for Putin and you're for Russia." You're like, no, I'm not. I think we're dealing with a bunch of assholes here.
It's possible that there is no good guy.
There's no good guy in this situation. Here's what I think's happening. We're sending them all this money that it basically they're blowing up all their shitty buildings. And I've been to Ukraine. There's a lot of shitty buildings over there. They're blowing up their shitty buildings. And guess what they're going to get to do with $50 billion? They're going to fund a rebuilding program that's going to be fantastic. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's just my take on this whole deal. They're like, you know what? Y'all come in there and y'all do the deconstruction part. People are going to lose their lives. We know that.
Yeah.
But we're willing to risk that because look at all this money we're funneling in here to one of the most corrupt engineered governments on the globe historically.
It's money laundering.
It is.
It really is.
You're pro, and I'm not pro anybody in this thing.
No.
I don't like any of them in this whole deal. So I don't care if you change your profile picture to the Ukrainian flag. I
am judging you. If you
I understand. But of course, fly your flag, all you want to do. But come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
This thing. You got time to take pictures for Vogue? How dare you call this stuff out? Well, can somebody at some point in time ever call any damn thing out anymore? Can we not have a little common sense?
It just takes...
we got to choose sides, and how dare you? You're the Antichrist if you say anything about Vladimir Zelenskyy, who, by the way, has branded himself with his stupid-ass green shirt so that everybody sees him wearing the same damn T-shirt. The dude's an actor, okay? He's done a marketing campaign to brand himself and make himself look like this great world leader. Mm-hmm. Y'all don't know not even long history, just recent history of what was happening in Ukraine.
Has he done a fantastic job of that, of branding himself as that, or is everyone just really stupid?
Well, look, I'm ashamed to say, like yesterday, I ran a marketing campaign on my deal where I had the thing said sensitive material. It was a picture of an eyeball crying that said it triggers snowflakes.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this is being censored." No, I created that. I'm like, we don't read, we don't pay attention, I felt bad. Like I was like, oh my God, we really are. We're so used to just seeing this stuff and reacting.
Yes.
That we don't even take the time to look at it and go, it's a joke.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
Right.
Marketing ploy.
I wanted to quote the movie Step Brothers and say, well, he called timeout in the war. It's part of the Geneva Convention.
Ding, ding.
Timeout. We're doing a Vogue segment here.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. We'll be right back. Y'all hang tight. All right, let's play the clip. We've talked about it during the break. AOC, of course, sat down with, what's that show? Is it Drag something? I don't know. Drag Me to Church.
RuPaul?
Is it that? Drag queens?
There's so many now. We can't keep track.
I don't know.
One of those drag queen shows.
So we got the clip.
Family friendly.
Many people have probably seen it, but here is AOC doing her best to pretend to be a pandering politician. Here it is.
The people who change what people think are artists and drag queens. And let's not forget who threw that first brick at Stonewall.
Yes.
You know, that is what led to us passing the Equality Act in the House in this term, marriage equality. It starts with you. I mean, you're patriots. You are. You are patriots. And I'm so proud of you all. I'm so proud to live in this country with you and with your mother and with all of us as family.
Girl. We love you.
That is the weirdest intro to a gangbang video I've ever seen right there. Like she's talking to a bunch of dudes. That's like, what's about to transpire?
Yeah.
They
put a lot of production into Pornhub these days.
Wow. That's all I got to say on that. But to call them patriots. Yeah, well, again, we're redefining words. Don't forget.
Sure are.
We're redefining words in this world and society we live in. They just, like, again, there's a lot of redefinitions right there. Not only patriot, but that's a queen, right? Those are a bunch of dudes.
Mm-hmm.
You think they're unapologetic?
Listen, man.
If they are, I know where they can get a shirt.
I dress up. You put on butterfly wings and fart glitter. I really just don't care. Keep it away from the kids. Keep it away from the kids. Do the adult things in the adult places. Do it in your own time. Don't bring it to my house. Don't bring it to my neighborhood. I don't need to see it.
And don't get offended when we don't want to.
And I don't watch TV. You know, look, I got straight pride. You know what I mean? I'm pretty happy that I'm all the things that I am. But patriots, that's pushing it. What have you done that's patriotic? I mean, you paved the way for this marginalized group or something. Like, yeah, they've been doing drag shows for a long time. Long time.
I don't think that mental illness has anything to do with patriotism. No. I'm not quite sure how you make that connection.
And look, I'm the wrong guy to even comment on stuff like this because I make fun of everybody, and God knows that's easy fodder. I mean, come on. And wait a minute, I mean, I'm looking at her the way she's dressed. I'm like, are you trying to look like a drag queen?
It looked like it.
You look like Flash Gordon right now in this.
She's culturally appropriating.
Like the episode in 1979 from the Donnie and Marie show is what she had on, I think.
Wow.
The flashy.
Yeah. It looked like one of those pillows that if you rub it, it becomes a different design. And then you rub it the other way and the design comes back. You know?
What is that? Velvet?
Yeah. I want some hard cheekbones like my colleagues here. I want a lot of rouge.
Ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. We've got a TikTok. We got one? Yeah. Let's play that sucker. If we could find it.
3 ways to let your friends know what gender you're feeling today. Gender fluid edition. PSA that you don't have to do any of these. These are just things that I do. 1. Pronoun bracelets. You can get different coloured bracelets with different pronouns on. For example, this one says she, her, this one says he, him, and this one says they, them. The colours also correspond to how I'm feeling. So black usually goes with my black male outfits. This usually goes with like my pink female outfits, and this usually goes with my non-binary outfit. Just a way to let your friends know what gender you're feeling today and how they can address you. Pins are also another good option. For example, I have this one that says they, them for when I'm feeling non-binary. 2. Clothing. Personally, I present very typically masculine when I'm feeling like a guy, and I present more ambiguously when I'm feeling like a non-binary, and when I'm feeling like a girl, I usually wear loads of pink. But anyone can wear anything that they want to, and it doesn't necessarily depend on gender. And finally, letting your friends know. Just tell them. That's it. Just tell them when you meet them. I'm feeling like this today, and can you dress me like this?
Would you like to buy a boondoggle? They're all the rage this season. No, I'm sorry. I went Napoleon Dynamite on that thing when she's got her tackle box with. Anyway, did you catch the phrase, whatever gender you're feeling today? Whatever gender you're feeling.
Can we just go naked from the waist down and just that determines what the hell you are? How
You
about
don't need a bracelet.
How about take your bracelet off, take your pants off, and let's just walk around like that? Sorry, dude. I know this is your show, and I probably shouldn't have said that. But
No, let's see your genitals.
Holy shit.
Let's bring the genitals out.
It would make it
I mean,
much
it is
easier
a telltale
these days.
sign.
It would make it
Holy
much easier
shit.
to determine.
Wow.
It is a telltale sign. So, what are we looking at here? An 18-year-old kid?
Maybe.
That's doing this video? I don't know.
Hey, congrats. You're capitalizing. Sell some bracelets. Make money. Go for it.
The only thing I could
Holy
respect
crap.
on there was matching the bracelet to the outfit.
Yeah. That you can
The
respect.
color, matching the color to your color outfit is the only respectable thing in that entire video.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's pure nonsense.
Well, I don't know. She's a patriot. Let's just put it. She's a patriot.
They, them.
Yeah.
True patriotism.
Dude, that first person that threw the brick at Stonewall, whatever. I mean, and I like back on the AOC video where she says they're patriots, and the one guy gives a little salute,
Oh my God.
the little limp-wristed salute.
Which is about what our military has become. So that's about right.
It's bad. I want to encourage everybody. So I was listening yesterday. I was traveling, and I was listening to Victor Davis Hanson. His commentary on what's going on with the military not meeting their recruiting requirements, spot on.
Yeah.
Spot on. And it's incredible. Because it used to be like 60% of veterans, their kids were the ones going into the military, like 60. Now it's down to like 13%.
Why would they want to?
They're like 13% of veterans' kids, the next generation is not joining the military. His analysis on that whole deal, and I maybe it's his podcast. I don't know. I was listening to it on one of the satellite networks, and it was a Sunday re-air edition. But Victor Davis Hanson, people need to go look that up, and you need to listen to everything Victor Davis Hanson says anyway. So, good stuff. Good stuff. Anyway, all right, we're not done. Hang tight. We'll be right back. All right, Sara Gonzales Unfiltered on YouTube.
The new one.
The new one. That's the new one. Go subscribe to it.
You got to resubscribe.
Steve Helms banned on all the socials. As far as I know, he ain't banned on anything.
Well, until that last comment.
I was going to say, he's hanging out with us, so he's about to be.
And watch chad.com where all the fun stuff is. Don't forget to subscribe, blazetv.com/Chad. Use promo code Chad to save on an annual subscription so you can get overtime on Fridays and through the weekend. And check us out. And Chad on blaze.com. You do a little shopping. We got the socks. We're pushing the heck out of those socks. Get in there and use those. Use promo code Chad10 on all Blaze merchandise. And Sara, thanks for coming on. You spicy bitch. Oh, well. That's a little hint of things to come. Maybe
a
one day,
little hint of things to come. You might find out about later this week.
Spicy bitch. And come see us in Lubbock, Texas, or Concan, Texas next week. We're bouncing all over. Watch Chad's got the schedule. But in the meantime, for Mark, for Brandon, Chris, who ducked in here as well, he's over there. Oh, he's in here. We'll see you tomorrow. Love you. God bless you. Bye.